Don't forget, if you want to advertise on the platform, and boy, we've got a dedicated and growing audience, also an audience that's getting a little bit younger over time, you contact sales at theplatform.kiwi. We have digital advertising on offer. We have content sponsorships and programming cooperation and traditional radio advertising. And the great thing about an outfit like the platform, we can really make it work for you. And Jen, who is the sales department of the platform, Jen can put together a campaign that works for you, and we will not break your bank, but we will reach people for you. Sales at theplatform.kiwi. That's who you go through to support your business and support ours. It's a win-win, really. All right, now let's move on to the second piece of outrage bait that occurred over the weekend. Where do we start with this? I have, as you know, for a long time been an absolute fan of the Range Rover, and I've had a few. And my current one, getting quite long in the tooth. It's 2007. It's got 255,000 clicks on it. It's a diesel. It shows its age, but I love it. And I have been thinking about a new used car, because the glory about brands and marks like that is I could never afford one brand new, but I know that they are taken care of. They're driven by people who love cars, so I'm looking at you on. And the car I had kind of come around to thinking about was I wanted some sort of Jaguar, a Jaguar. And as you know, if you've watched Top Gear, the definitive, and then the Grand Tour, the definitive automotive television programs and sort of cultural flag bearers for the automotive industry, the Jaguar has a certain reputation, and that is it's a bit bad. It might not be that reliable. It might be driven by roués who sleep with their secretaries and flirt with the waitress on dirty weekends away in the Cotswolds. But the Jaguar means something, that the E-Type is the most beautiful sports car ever built, and the mark represents elegance, luxury, with a taste of danger and maybe a high servicing bill. Jaguar announced recently that they will never make and produce a new petrol car. They are going to go fully electric from this year. They haven't come out with a new model, I think, in 10 months. And in about 8 days, they're going to launch in Florida their new all-electric vehicle. And as part of that, they have gone through a complete rebrand. The ads for that ran over the last few days. And Ben, I want to bring you in here quickly. You saw those ads. If you watched one of the new Jaguar ads that are all over social media, millions and millions has been spent on them, what would you think it was an ad for?
Not a car. Some sort of celebrity-endorsed perfume, perhaps, or like a new clothing brand. And
it's got a whole lot of meaningless woke drivel, different
like
or
those
something.
Delete ordinary and be different and all of those kind of things, but no vehicle scene.
Okay, and the people in the ad were men or women, or was it hard to tell?
Androgynous in some cases, but I don't know. Yeah, it just doesn't look like a car.
Absolutely friggin' woke, and it put Bud Light with Dylan Mulvaney to shame. Now, this has gone off on social media. It has trended worldwide. And I thought the best people to ask about it are the people who do love Jaguars and have driven Jaguars for a long time. And the president, I think, of the Wellington Jaguar fan club is a guy called Jonathan Paape, I actually know. And he's on the line now. Jonathan, how are you? I missed you at the Ferrari event in Auckland on Saturday.
Yes, well, when I saw you coming, I thought I'd decide to hide just in case you lambasted me for one thing or another.
Well, Jonathan, here we are talking now because, and that was the Ferrari event.
It was fabulous, wasn't it?
And got some beautiful cars there.
Sure,
But more or less, I'll never own a Ferrari, I couldn't imagine. But I have been thinking about buying a Jaguar. I'm now thinking I might tie-ho on that because their prices are going to drop, right?
Well, I'm not quite so sure the price of the petrol cars will drop anyway. You know, they have always said, you know, if you can't afford to buy a brand new Jaguar, you certainly can't afford to buy and own a second-hand one because they were chronically unreliable.
Yeah.
But I think those days are well gone. I think the petrol Jaguars will hold their values.
Diesel?
But the EV cars, the Jaguar, unfortunately, through government regulations, have been forced to go the EV route, and they've just arrived too late. The EV party is over, and the discounts you can get on a brand new EV, of which I've got some examples of, if you're interested, are absolutely staggering.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
But Jonathan, this is about more than
beard.
electric versus petrol. This is about a brand, isn't it?
This is about bloody stupidity.
Okay, take us through that.
That advert, honestly, nobody understands it, do they? Nobody understands the purpose of the advert. Nobody understands what it's for. It's just ridiculous.
Okay. What does Jaguar and being a Jag owner mean to you?
Well, to me, it means an aesthetically beautiful car with a bellowing exhaust note, plenty of grunt, and today reliable.
Yeah.
And pretty much sort of you can look at it as an older person as I am and relive your youth when you thought an E-Type was and still is one of the prettiest cars in the world. And some of the new Jaguars, look very like the E-Type, and so you can sort of relive your youthful dreams of never having an E-Type when you're a kid in a beautiful-looking, modern, reliable, and surprisingly economical car.
All right. So, Jonathan, how many have you owned?
Well, in actual fact, I hate to confess this, but I'm not the president of the Jaguar Car Club. And the only Jaguar I ever owned was when I was 18. I started restoring one, but my father, pre and post-war, had a few, but it's my wife who's the Jaguar fan, so she has a Jaguar, so she likes running around in that.
All right. Jonathan, do you think, no matter how much they spend on a marketing campaign, that woke Jaguar will ever work?
No, there is a laughing stock. And the Jaguar brand is ruined anyway. They haven't produced any new cars. They're going straight to EV, so it doesn't matter what the advertising campaign's like. The brand is ruined. EV sales worldwide have just about stopped, except for small cars. Jaguar are going to be bringing out a range of expensive EVs.
Yep.
EVs are over, and so is the brand.
Okay. So how do we respond? And they've got 14 different diversity, inclusion, or equity and inclusion groups in Jaguar. They want to be at the forefront of a social change. Did we just look at that and laugh?
Well, that's all you can do. All you can. And the other thing is, all this woke nonsense that goes on. It didn't work for Bud Light. They lost $1 billion in revenue.
Yeah.
Went from first to third place. It didn't work for Harley Davidson, and they've stopped that. And John Deere, the tractor company, they were funding gay pride events for kids as young as 3. And when that started leaking out, John Deere very quickly basically just said, like those other two companies, woke, forget all that, we're over it, we've moved on. And I think woke is pretty much last year.
Yeah. Look, the other thing is I wondered when I looked at the campaign, Jonathan, and I saw that the name of their English executive, which was now something, it was Raw Don Glover, and someone took his name Rawdon Glover.
Yes.
And said if you put a pause after Raw, R-A-W,
yes,
then the letters D-O-N-G, then a pause, and then Lover. So I wondered...
I couldn't possibly comment, could I?
But I wondered if this wasn't a very, very clever and sophisticated troll to get the whole world talking about Jaguar and how woke it was, and then in 8 days they'll turn around and they'll go back to, must have left the wallet in the Jag, Jeremy Clarkson's version of what a Jaguar owner is and what a Jaguar is, that it might not be a very, very sophisticated and clever marketing campaign. But I hate to say I just don't think that's the case.